Hindi tayo magpapalupig! Tayo ang magtatagumpay. Dahil tayo ang mga anak ng bayan. Tayo ang nagmamay-ari sa lupang ito. Sa atin ang bayan ito. Ulitin ang mga sedula nyo! Mabuhay ang katipunan! Mabuhay ang revolusyon!
Spain colonized the Philippines for approximately 333 years, from 1521 to 1898. During this period, the Philippines did indeed experience numerous hardships as a result of Spanish colonization. Some of the hardships faced by the Filipino people include economic exploitation, forced labor, cultural suppression, social inequality, limited political participation, resistance, and repression. These tortures contributed to the socio-economic underdevelopment of the Philippines during the colonial era.
Good day, we are Group 4 from Engineer 102 and we are here to discuss one of the most significant events of our country's history, which is the first cry of the revolution. The term cry is referred to the first clash between the members of the Katipunan and the Guardia Civils, and it also refers to the tearing up of cedulas in resistance to the Spanish government. When we say cedulas, these are the community tax certificates of an individual. Teodoro Agoncillo, a historian, chose to emphasize Bonifacio's tearing of the cedulas before a crowd of Katipuneros who then broke out in cheers. However, Guardia Civil Manuel Sicar never mentioned this in his memoirs, but did note the Pacta de Sangre or Blood Pact marked on every single Filipino he met on August 1896. The first cry of revolution remains unsolved due to the fact that there are different dates and places that were mentioned by different eyewitnesses of the event. This includes Pio Valenzuela's cry of Puladlawin, Sancho Alvarez's cry of Bahay-Toro, and Guillermo Masangkay's cry of Balintawak.
In Dr. Pio Valenzuela accounts, he said on August 23, 1896, Filipino revolutionaries led by Andres Bonifacio gathered in secret meeting in a house in Pugadlawin. It was during this meeting that they tore their cedulas or residence certificates as a symbol act of defiance against Spanish authority. This event is often regarded as the starting point of Philippine Revolution. Dr. P. Valenzuela is the only doctor participating in the revolution. He was a member of secret society known as Katipunan, and played a role in organizing the revolution against associated with a cry of Pugadlawin.
Dr. Pio Valenzuela, an eyewitness to the incident. In his initial account, he claimed that on August 26, 1896, on Wednesday, Balintawak served as the primary staging area for the cry. But on his second statement, Balintawak was the first spot that Andres Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, Procopio Bonifacio, Teodoro Plata, Agueldo del Rosario, and I sought refuge. The first 5 of us arrived there on August 19, and I did so on August 20, 1896. On August 23, 1896, nearly 1,000 members of the Katipunan met and held a lengthy debate in the storehouse of Juan Ramos, the son of Melchor Aquino in Pugadlawin, that contradicts both of the statement that threw doubt to the cry of Pugadlawin itself.
Cry of Bahay-Toro is another version of the cry which sparked the Philippine Revolution in the account of Santiago Alvarez, a general in the Katipunan. Alvarez was not an eyewitness during the cry because at the time he was at Cavite. But with that in mind, this is still a primary source because Santiago Alvarez was a Katipunero himself. According to Santiago Alvarez's account, the cry happened in Bahay-Toro.
Cry of Bahay-Toro. On August 24, 1986, a Monday morning, there were about 1,000 Katipuneros arrived at the barn of Melchor Aquino. And Andres Bonifacio, or who the called Supremo, one who is highest in rank on authority, decided to hold a meeting inside the barn. This meeting began at 10 o'clock in the morning and has ended 12 o'clock noon. When the meeting has adjourned, loud cries were heard from thousand katipuneros shooting long live the son of the country. In Tagalog, this means mabuhay ang mga anak ng bayan.
General Guillermo Magsangkay, the Cry of Balintawak. He is a friend and advisor of Andres Bonifacio, and he was one of the first member of the Katipunan which designated to build the KKK in Cavite. He was also asked by Bonifacio for approval of turning the Katipunan into Association for Revolution. This proved his huge credibility on his account about the first crime. There were actually two versions presented by him. Firstly, an article from Sunday Tribune magazine on August 21, 1932 featured the statement of eyewitness account by Katipunan General Guillermo Magsangkay. Katipuneros speak. Magsangkay recounts the Cry of Balintawak, stating on August 26, 1896, a big meeting was held in Balintawak at the house of Apolonio Samson, then the cabeza of the barrio of Caloocan. At about 9 o'clock in the morning of August 26, the meeting was opened with Andres Bonifacio presiding, Emilio Jacinto acting as a secretary.
On August 1896, after the Katipunan was discovered, Magsangkay joined Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, and others in claiming lines, meeting held in the 26th of that month, August, at Apollonia Samsung House in Caloocan. Initially, the leaders of the movement quarreled over strategy and tactics, and many of its members questioned the wisdom of an open rebellion due to the lack of arms and logistical support. However, after Bonifacio's intense and convincing speech, everyone destroyed their cedulas to symbolize a defiance toward this pain and together raised the cry of Weebol. Secondly, he dated it on August 23, 1896 on his interview published in the newspaper Bagong Buhay, similar to the assertion of Dr. Pio Valenzuela. But then again, it was changed back by his granddaughter Soledad Weller Borromeo. Cited sources including the Basangkay papers, and the original was August 26.
The first cry of the Philippine Revolution represents a significant moment in the country's quest for independence. The Philippine Revolution was significant, not only for its military and political aspects, but also for the emergence of national consciousness and the birth of a collective Filipino identity. The diverse versions mentioned underline the complexities of historical narratives and the multiple perspectives involved in interpreting historical events. Regardless of the specific account, the first cry of the revolution symbolizes the Filipino people's collective yearning for freedom and their determination to resist Spanish colonial rule, setting the stage for the broader struggle for independence. Overall, knowledge of the first cry of the Philippine Revolution serves to honor the sacrifices made by the early revolutionaries and reminds us of the ongoing struggle for freedom and self-determination in the country's history. Their struggles and achievements serve as an inspiration for future generations, emphasizing the importance of fighting for justice, equality, and national sovereignty.
Lagi ninyong pakatandaan na ang kadahilanan ng ating pagbuwis ng buhay ay upang makamit ang matagal na nating minimithing kalayaan mula sa paggustay at pagkaalipin.